Hey guys, it's Eric.
And Adam.
And welcome to today's video, yay! Where we are continuing to talk about our journey to buying our dream home.
Yes.
Yay! Don't mind us just staying cool through this video.
Right, we're just going to keep these on.
So we want to tell you about our next step in home buying process, which of course, if anybody has bought a house, they know that the inspection process comes after you have accepted your offer or somebody has put an offer in. So we were going through double that because we were going through an inspection on the place that we had put an offer on and an inspection on the place that we were selling. So that's pretty stressful in itself. But our place that we were buying, the inspection came back with a couple things. We asked them to fix a couple things and they agreed and it was pretty great. And so once that happened, we decided to start moving forward and like figuring out utilities and things like that. And so I had ended up going in and looking for internet service. Internet, right? Everybody has internet, you know. We're in the city limits. We should have internet. Not kidding. Every single internet place that I had contacted said, nope, we don't service that address. So we were freaking out. We were absolutely freaking out, and we just didn't know what to do. And we were thinking of YouTube, downloading videos, takes forever.
Well, uploading videos.
Uploading. I didn't want you sitting there for like 3 hours for every single video. I work, all my calls are basically on video, so I have that, the girls and us watching our favorite shows, like all the stuff that we use internet that you don't think about until you possibly don't have it. Mm-hmm. It's like frightening.
Yeah, it's like scary how much you rely on it. Yeah, we just like went into like full on stress mode. So
our options for internet satellite, which there's like a latency, it's not reliable satellite, especially when you're like streaming and all that and uploading, and we weren't even going to deal with it. So we talked to our agent and she was like, is this a deal breaker for you? And at the time we were like, yeah, this is a deal breaker. Like, what did we do? Because we had already gone through the inspection process and like wrote that off, there wasn't anything that we could back out on except for our contingency of selling our current place. So our inspection for our current place had just happened and we had just gotten the BINSER report, which basically says we want all these things done to your place
before we move in.
So she said, if that falls through, then you're going to be in the clear and you won't have sold your house, so then you'll be out on buying your new house. We were like, great. So we are going to say that we are not going to do any of the repairs on the BINSER, and they're going to say, no, we're not moving forward, and we'll stay in our place, and we'll just sweep everything under the rug and be like, well,
pretend this never happened.
Yeah. And basically like,
we were like, let's do everything we can to not sell our current house. And so we were like, we're going to not do any of the inspection stuff at all, which wasn't even that bad. For our current place, it wasn't that bad. So
it wasn't.
I mean, I guess I can see why they were like, okay, that's fine.
But I do have to say that the people who were buying our place put so much stuff on the BINSER.
So much.
Like the tiniest little thing that it actually offended us, because when we were going through the process and when we had gone through the process before of our current house, we were told by our agent to try not to upset the sellers because they could turn around and just say no. So not only did they make us upset because they asked for so many little things, but we also had this in the back of our head that we were going to say no because we didn't end up selling our place, which was such a, like, we were going through so many different things and stress, but
yeah,
we ended up saying no. And they said okay.
Which we weren't expecting.
No.
So with them accepting the fact that we weren't going to do any of the stuff they asked on the inspections, we felt ourselves kind of stuck And we were just so caught up in this whole like, oh my gosh, not having internet is going to be like so hard for Eric's work, my work with both the YouTube stuff and like music stuff, sending like downloading, sending vocals. It would be like days to send stuff. And so just like with all of our work, and for the girls' sake, like watching tablets or their shows or whatever, we were just like how are we going to be able to do this? And we kind of felt stuck. And so we were worried that we would sell our current home and then just like not go forth with the new house, which would then mean that we were going to be homeless. And so this idea that we're like trying to make a big move for our family and find a dream home for all of us and like find a home that the girls can grow up in could result in us being homeless and just completely backfire was like, oh my God, it like was
really stressful.
So
we
stressful.
Started thinking of ways that we could, like where we would go. We thought about like, oh, we have to rent a place, or we'll get an Airbnb, or we'll move in with Adam's parents or my parents until we find a place.
Which we actually talked to them about too. So
yeah,
we got the okay with them. So we were like anticipating something like that to happen.
Especially because they had accepted, so then they were moving forward. So then we were like, are we backing out? And then we had put in earnest money, which basically means that you put like 1% of the cost of the home down to be like, hey, we're really into this. So the sellers are like, okay, there's a little bit of money here that if they back out, we'll get it. So like we would have lost that earnest money. It was really stressful.
Yeah, and there was like multiple layers to the stress. So with all of this in mind, Eric and I kind of just like sat down and looked at everything, every part of this whole situation. And we were like, okay, well, we still can see our girls growing up in this home. We still see it as our forever home. So we just started brainstorming like workarounds for the whole internet situation. Like if Eric would have to go to coffee shops every day to do his work, or if I would have to take the girls with me to coffee shops to do uploads and stuff, like just little stuff like that. Even though it wasn't the ideal situation, we were still like, okay, we've like committed to this new house, and with the whole contingency thing, like we can't. I mean, we've somewhat screwed ourselves over because we got like stuck, but we also get stuck with our dream home. So it's not like the worst thing. It's just the dream home doesn't have dream internet, but what can you do? So
we ultimately decided to move forward, and in that process as well, Julie came forward and was like, hey, have you seen this TikTok hack? And we were like, no, what is that? What are you talking about? So she told us about this TikTok hack, and it totally works, FYI. So basically, you get like a Netgear like router modem, and then you take a SIM card that's attached to a phone service line with unlimited internet attached to it, and you take that SIM card and you put it into the Netgear. It's like basically made for it, and so you get 4G LTE network off of this hub that acts as your router for your home, and it worked. We even tested it in our current place just to make sure, and we were satisfied with that. So ultimately, we felt comfortable moving forward. Even though it's not the fastest internet, it worked totally fine.
But we did that trial run at the current place just to make sure. So if whatever happened, if we ended up leaving the current place or staying at the current place, we're like, oh, we have this option to fall back on, which would probably work better for us than like driving to a coffee shop or something all the time. So.
And we're like, are we being like crazy with this? And I do have to say that everyone that I brought it up to was like, how are you gonna live the internet? What are you gonna do? Your parents were talking about that. My mom was like, well, how you use internet so much for your job and for your YouTube, and I was like, yeah, we know.
Well, and part of this whole conversation that we had about it, it was like, are we going to need to change our lifestyle? Like, are we going to become farmers that don't even know pop culture? You know, like, that's a weird, terrible example.
That's how much we loved the house.
Yeah, so we were like, okay, maybe we just completely change our lifestyle.
It's funny because even though that part of it was fixed, the next part got even a little scarier and a little more real to being homeless when we decided to go the route of the appraisal. So the appraisal process, we are going to talk about in our next video. Oh my God, it was like the cherry on top of everything. We thought everything else had gone awry. Just wait till you hear about the appraisal process because that was insane. So yeah, so stay tuned for our next video. We're talking about that.
We're really selling this well. If you're looking to move, don't. Because it's
especially right now.
Yeah, it's such a headache.
It's just like there's so much going on, and everybody in the home industry is so busy, like construction workers and agents and realtors, and like everybody is so busy that everything is just going so fast or taking so long. It's like an awful combination because like you have to hurry up before somebody else gets it and then put an offer down that may not be an offer that you would have 4 years ago because the market is not as crazy as it is now, and it's just like, yeah. So stay tuned for that. Yay!
Yeah. Also completely random, but after I got ready today, I put on this shirt and I went to go see Addison. And she's like, ooh, I like your shirt. You're a cow. No, all right. Thanks, Addison. So,
tell me about that.
Yeah.
That sounds like something she would say.
And she's like, ooh, I like your shirt. You're a cow. Okay, perfect. And then I just started mooing, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Remember to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you soon.
3